Welcome to SAPE Higher Education Conclave Colombo Networking and Conference 2023. We will now introduce the institutions participating in this event.
Success begins not only with education, but by developing the skills needed for tomorrow. Situated in Bhopal, AISECT University's sprawling campus provides you with the opportunities needed to pursue your passion. From cutting-edge research to hands-on experience. As one of India's best upcoming universities, we help students rise to lead.
Thank you, sir. And now, Mr. Rajat Chaturevdi, Business Head, AISECT Group of Universities, Bhopal. Sorry.
So, very good afternoon to everyone present in the room. So as an organization, yes, like all the other universities, we are also the aspirants wherein we would definitely want to cater the needs of the international students. But just a couple of vital points, because somewhere in the topic of today's discussion, it was more on the innovation side for the student mobility. So a couple of data points wherein if we see for the year 2019, it was just a 2.6% of the total students available globally who were migrating. And now post-pandemic, any which ways, the expectations have changed. And definitely the mobility will differ from what it was earlier. So as an innovative measure or as an innovative suggestion, it's more of the universities need to move to a VSM mode, which is a virtual student mobility mode. If we look at the student mobility from the historic side, there were three parts to it. The first one was wherein the students were physically migrating to a different university and completing the course and coming back, which eventually over a period of years got converted into the year-based and the semester-based and the student exchange programs which is happening. Now from the innovation side, it is more of the use of the digital platforms and the use of the ICT technologies wherein the virtual mobility of the students are there because the expectations from the student have changed. So the VSM, actually the virtual student mobility becomes the critical part of the mobility for the students today, wherein the students definitely are coming to the campuses, but they're coming for the campuses for the industry exposures, they're coming for the skill enhancements, they're coming for the employabilities. And at the same time, there are certain collaborations which from the home and the host countries, the universities are collaborating with each other and delivering the courses on the virtual platforms. So that can be the other mode of innovation that can be looked at. Apart from that, the other major aspect on the student mobility is definitely the size of the pocket, definitely the cultural fitment of the student, and definitely as a career progression, what the student would be looking at. So those are the three aspects. Again, whenever we are talking about a student mobility, we will definitely have to have a look to these three criteria has been taken care of, and it's only after that that we can talk about the student mobility has been happening. So in my opinion, if I have to summarize my point, definitely the student mobility is the most critical and the most important part on the international platform. But now I think it's a time, and definitely the post-pandemic time, wherein we will have to look for the innovative ways which have to move to the ICTs and the virtual platforms in which the mobility of the student is cheaper, it is culturally aligned, and at the same time this is giving a much more enhancement in terms of increasing the percentage from 2.6 to a bigger percentage which was in the year 2019. Thank you.
Chaturvedi Sahab, please just throw some lights on the institutional preparation for increasing the student mobility. What is going on in India, especially because we are an umbrella organization. We see the university from a bird's eye view, right? Reaching at 1100 universities are members. So being directly from the university level and dealing with these aspects, what is your experience? What is the preparation of at the institutional level to attract more and more foreign students and also sending our students? So what is the status and what is required also?
Okay, before I answer that question for you, I will just set a context that will help you understand my answer much better. There are a lot of countries across the world. The biggest struggle for them is where the student goes out for a higher education and he never comes back. So technically, the biggest problem is a loss of that particular skill, and the skill gaps which are there in those countries always prevail. So they will still struggle, though the student has got the benefit, but at the same time, that skill enhancement, whatever is happening, is never coming back to the country. It's very small percentage that happens. The second part of it is that, as I mentioned in the earlier remarks, that there are a couple of points that when we talk about student mobility, we will have to keep in mind. One, definitely being the cultural fitment. Secondly, being low on the pockets. Third, definitely being in a sense wherein the student has to see the value addition in terms of a career progression that can be given. And that actually is the most critical part. So even if that is being taken care of, there are students who will bypass the commercial resistance or the roadblock. Now, to answer your question in the same regard, sir, as an institution today, as I mentioned earlier also in the morning, that we work for a couple of African countries, we work for a couple of South Asian countries also. That has been the biggest challenge, wherein we see I would say the energy, the hunger for that particular course or for a certain education that the student wants to do, but they are not capable of doing it because they are financially not that strong. And there are countries who do not have those stubborn, or I would say the strong policies in terms of supporting the students. So in that regards, when as an institution today, when I am trying to deliver the third phase of the student mobility, which is more towards the delivering using the ICTs, using the digital platforms, using the technologies in terms of delivering the courses, but at the same time getting those students for the industrial exposures, getting them for the projects, getting them for those particular on-the-job training, that is something that is still giving them a career progression. And that is not being costly on their pockets as well. That is also taking care of the cultural fitment, because they're still staying back in their own culture and they're studying and they're still getting the things. But the deliveries that have to be done also have to be quality aligned. So now if I have to give an example, I will rather cite an example that will help you understand is that a couple of African countries wherein we are associated with the African universities and delivering the courses online on an ICT platform or on a multiple digital platforms, wherein the quality aspect is taken care by us, by the home, and at the same time the host country, both of them. So it becomes a prerogative for both of us to ensure the quality delivery which is happening from the practical and from the theoretical side of it. Providing the industrial support on the same platform and having the industrial exposures being given to the students is the other part which is currently needed for the students.
Chaturvedi sir, I will request you to please make it a little brief, because I have to go to the last panelist.
Absolutely.
And it's almost 3. We will switch over the panel to the next guest, please.
Sure. So I will just summarize in terms of that it is more from having the institutions, having the more of the digital-based curriculums being ready, having the simulator-based labs being ready, having the e-labs being ready, having the associations across the borders wherein the quality aspects can be taken care of, and also having the shift being going not only staying to the academia, but also going to the industry, who also becomes a part in terms of delivering and becomes developing the students at certain platforms.
Thank you so much.
So it will take the student to globally. If they are well versed in the research activities, of course the students are into, again, research activities plus team education. If they are into that, they can able to reach the students globally. They can able to interact students from other countries, so they can gain more knowledge. So if they have the ideas, we are the university to ready to open to enhance the student into next level. Hope I clarify.
Okay, sir. Yes, you did. Thank you very much. Anything to add?
Yeah, there's one more thing that I would want to add to it is the integrated programs that we have initially started with the students, and that's not only for Sri Lanka but for other countries as well. But the inflow has been pretty decent when we talk about Sri Lanka as a market. Wherein these are the courses which are letting the student earn their education from day one itself, because they're all integrated programs with the industry. So now, if we talk about the German model of education, which is more towards the BVOCs and the MVOCs, that's the Bachelor of Vocational and Masters of Vocational Studies. So on the same lines, when the student is with the industry on the day one itself, so it is more of a 70% which is happening at the industry on the work, actually from the work side, where he's practically working and gaining the knowledge, and it is only the 30% where he has to sit in the class and study. And at the same time, because there are procedures for the stipends, definitely they cannot be on the work and the salaries, but definitely they are able to earn their stipends, they're able to survive. Now, once they complete these particular courses, so the provision for them or the opportunity for them to get hired on the day one itself while completing with the company itself wherein they have completed the course still becomes easier. So employability also goes high. So that one way of including the students and having the vocationalization of the formal education is definitely one of the aspects that is attracting the students. And in that aspect, as I earlier also mentioned, that industry also plays a major role wherein they have to partner with the academia in terms of getting these particular course deliveries done.
Right. Thank you so much. Mr. S.K. Binu Siva Singh, Registrar, JPR University. Mr. Rajat Chaturevdi.
A big hand, please. We should not be miserly about clapping.
Mr. Chatura Kotagama. Yes.
But without memento one photograph and with memento one. But all do not have memento. So that's not better. Okay, nice. Thank you. One without memento. Please.
Thank you so much.